Okay, a question was asked to me, and it was basically, what's the difference between hardcore matches and death matches? Like, what's the difference? So, I'm going to give it to you, and hopefully this helps him out. So here's the thing: a hardcore match, originally was done in the late 70s. I think about 77 or so, something like that, somewhere around that time. And it was basically a wrestling match that spilled into a fight that led from the ring to the back to the catering, where they were throwing food all over each other and stuff, trash cans, slipping and sliding, hitting hot coffee makers, things like that. It was bad. It was crazy. It was out of this world. And because of that, the next match that they had, people wanted to go see it because they was hoping that that would happen. And I can't recall if that happened again or not, but it put butts in seats for the next event, and everyone who was there was glad that they were there. So then it comes to, well, hardcore. What is it? Right now, currently, people conflate hardcore and deathmatch because the fans have taken over wrestling instead of wrestlers taking over wrestling. And wrestlers who want to displease the fans will do what the fans say, so the wrestlers themselves don't even know, because of the generations, don't even know what the difference is in some cases. So, you got wrestlers who do know, understand, and get it, and they're very wise in which they want to take. And you got those that just say, look, man, I just want to do it, get on the best match, and get noticed and recognized. Yeah, those are the more dangerous wrestlers right there. I would not, if I were a wrestler, work with somebody that just wants to get recognized and do anything that the fans are saying or whatnot. The people that are not going to think, but they're just going to do. Those are dangerous people. They don't think, they just do. They always hurt somebody, whether it be emotional or physical. It's going to happen. So, that's just people in general. So you get a hardcore match. The best version of hardcore matches usually were done in the defunct now ECW, which I think may have or may get a revival. Sadly, it won't be the same as it was before. It just will not, because it will take business from its main owner now. But those matches involved ladders, tables, chairs, garbage cans full of pre-selected weapons and items and whatnot. And some of them didn't get used, like the shovel. That wouldn't get used, but it would be out there. Keyboards, cooking sheets and things like that. Those were hardcore matches. They would get used. So, suplex somebody on the trash can or beat it over somebody's head, pile drive them on the trash can, something like that. And the trash can, honestly, is like kind of a slightly stiff cushion, as weird as that may sound. It braces the wrestler. It kind of helps him a bit. So that's good. But that's what the hardcore matches were. Using those weapons, the ladders, ladders, tables, and chairs match for WWE, which they didn't innovate. It was ECW before ECW was killed and bought out by WWE or WWF, WWE. But ECW was doing the tables, ladders, and chairs match. They just didn't call it that. It was honestly not even a hardcore match. They got hardcore, but it wasn't a hardcore match. It was a difference back then. But that's what a hardcore match is. Using, foreign objects, obviously safely, hopefully that the wrestler can take it, That's what they do. Death match, that's different. The death match is you're using barbed wire on the ropes. You're using slicing weapons like a scythe, like I think it was Onita that used it. I think Onita used it. And then glass. Like legitimate glass. Getting all, blood sport tongue po about it, Okay, not that. No, it was pretty much like that. Not literally like that, but using a broken glass bottle to cut somebody. Yeah, you ain't gonna dunk your fist in glass in ground down glass and backhand somebody with it. Of course, today I'm not surprised if that hasn't happened already. So it's stuff like that. The death match is designed to draw blood. The hardcore match, you might bleed. But pretty much you're just going to use weapons and whatnot and hopefully use them safely. So, so you can wrestle another day. You don't jack each other up, There's an art to it. However, when it comes to the death match, no, it is designed to draw blood and look terrible. you know, arms have been ripped open, you know, temples gashed. I mean, there's been some serious near fatal injuries, and it's mainly in Japan where these matches take place or took place. And they happened, there were tournaments. I mean, you know, 16 wrestler tournaments, and every match was a death match. It got to the point where some people just stopped watching. The death match, if you survive a death match, then a regular match should not be a problem. That's the problem with these type of with hardcore and death matches. When they're done too much, the problem is people will eventually be like, well, you shouldn't lose a regular match. I mean, they just cut you. The dude got a scythe and he cut you open. Or there's broken glass. You've been suplexed on broken glass and thumbtacks, and you got hit with a brick. You know, they're throwing you into explosives. They're slamming you on coils of barbed wire and slicing your back and your forehead and your arm on it, and you're hollering. You're bleeding like a stuffed pig. You're jacked up. So if you go to a regular match, then you should just be a juggernaut. That's why I never really liked them. If I did use them, basically, for me, if I was a promoter, I would use it as, it came to this. There is nothing else that is going to settle it. After this, it is done. Because there's nothing else to do. Basically, the match escalates to the point where the cage ain't good enough. The hardcore stuff ain't good enough. The hardcore cage ain't good enough. It needs to be this. The death match is a brutal, almost career-ending type match. And yes, as bloody as it can get, a death match can be done safely. But people have almost lost eyes. Numerous wrestlers had reported that they came really close to the barbed wire getting into their eye. It was terrible. So there's safe ways to do it, and there are reckless ways. But, and when I say safe, I don't mean like they don't get hurt. I mean they don't get permanently injured or moderately injured. That's what I mean. The death match is all about unlimited violence. Now, I was also asked, what's the difference between, is there a difference between the death match and the ultra violent match? No, the ultra violent match is, you might have the hardcore match and they say, now it's going to be ultra violent, but it's the same match. They just might talk trash loudly while they do it. Or they might bring an extra weapon in. So you got the hardcore match and then someone pulls out a knife or a scythe or a broken bottle or a bottle in general. Death match, you got the same thing, but then ultra violent, that they might add fire to it. They might add extra table and some extra barbed wire and other weaponry that might get used a little bit here and there, just to spice things up. It's no different than when it's pretty much just it's a synonym, like the no disqualification match, which used to be the basically hardcore style. Hardcore is no disqualification, but with weapons. That's what it evolved to. But no disqualification has a synonym. It's called the lights out match. It's like this is a lights out match, or this is an unsanctioned match. Stuff like that. Those are also no DQ matches. So it's all about synonyms. And if a company can't really tell the difference between the two, then there's something wrong with that company. But I hope this really has helped. So hardcore match, ladders, tables, chairs, household items, cooking items, things like that. Use them at will, like Tommy Dreamer and the bowling ball, things like that. All right, kendo stick, death match, bladed weapons, bladed ropes, if need be, and even if it's just traditional ropes, it would be some kind of skin slicing or peeling or whatnot weapon or situation thereof. There might be fire, there might be thumbtacks. Thumbtacks in the ring does make it turn into a death match situation, but it's not a death match like Abyss, pretty much who dumbed himself out of his gimmick, who dumbed himself out of being awesome. And it's not all really his fault. They pretty much made him do it, so they screwed him. But yeah, he would turn it into a death match-ish type situation. He would have his whole thing. his, I don't know, horror match or something it was called. But I can't remember. Tal Jones or somebody to help me. You help me remember what Abyss used to call his matches. But I'll probably remember when this is over. But yeah, those were, how can I say, those were Deathmatch light. L-I-G-H-T, light. As in weak death matches, but above hardcore. It was just above hardcore, but not a death match. It's like, I want to go into the water, but I'll just stick my foot in and circle it around and see how it is. That's what that is. So I hope this has helped. So this is Cedric for CR5 Pro CR Wrestling Commentaries. Thank you for listening. By Climber, Irish Whip. Another Manhattan drop. He's got it. Arm wringer, dragon screw arm whip. Up kick. Puma Kid's in control now. Picks him up. Middle kick. Drops him. Picks him up. He's still in control. Rolling fisherman suplexes. And that ended the fisherman buster. And he gets right up. Chop. Jumping uppercut. Chop. Jumping uppercut. Chop. Uppercut. Then says, no way. Rolling conjugated chop. Picks him up. What a special. And he surrenders. The winner of the match is Climber.